Good morning, peoples. Let's jump in here for Tesla and Tesly. It's going down. It had been 5.6 up the day before. So on 7:30, we were down 4.08 on Tesla. We're only down 2.8 on Tesly. So no trades, no additional shares. So not much really change in the cash. 50,250,000. This is definitely I don't report on NVIDIA anymore, but definitely the king of shares. Um, Not of assets under management, but shares. All right. So let's go over and look at the weekly. So on our weekly, we got a little breathing room, right? We've got 34,300. So they're spread out, they're somewhat laddered, but we are at 222 with 3 trading days and with the FOMO potential of the FOMC, right? So let's see. If they were to do a rate cut, I would expect everything would go up. So hard to say if we're safe here. The 230 is a small one, and so is the 237, even though relative. This is the guy we really don't want to run by, the 5.56% higher at 235. So let's take a look and jump over at our holdings because this always shows greater detail. So clearly, we did that gap fill. Remember, I said on the chart, I need to put that chart back. I just showed it yesterday when I updated this, but we went right up in that 233, 234. We closed at 232, and 234 was the gap fill. I never looked to see if the intraday reached it, but my guess would be it likely did. They don't always fill perfectly, but they get pretty close. And this one probably did on that day because it closed at 232 something, right? Let's look. Yeah, it closed at 232.10. And if it got to 234 during the day, then it did a gap fill. All right. So we're down at 220. And so we could come back and we could test 215. But I think if somehow we got a rate cut, that's going to be buoyant for most everything in the stock market. So let's look at the holdings and finish. So what do we do with our synthetic? Well, if you drop from 234 to 222, you're going to lose money in your synthetic. And sure enough, we went from 93 million on the previous day to 121 million. Okay. So that's what it looks like. We had been as low as 125 and even 138. This is more reminiscent of the drop to 215. Okay. So how are our net assets and our close? Well, we closed at 1530 and fair value is signaling 1533. Assets divided by net assets divided by outstanding shares. Again, I didn't roll these two together, but they do own a 265 in addition to the 260, and all of this expires on 8/16. So they may not have to deal with it for next week when the declaration is done on the 6th, right? What is the 6th? Well, the 6th is Tuesday. So when you're hearing this recording, it's probably Wednesday morning. That's when I'm recording it, early Wednesday morning. So we are the 31st, right? So it's a week from Tuesday, from yesterday. So that's when we declare. So we have one more chance to gather some. But Tesla actually has money in the piggy bank to pay us decently. It just comes down to how big does this synthetic loom for the week after declaration. And do we recover? So not, a little different than Coney and Misty, but you literally have the big guy, right? The big guy is 66.5. I rounded. Okay. We're 88 and 85 on Misty and Coney. So they're more where they should. This one, not necessarily, right? This, if it stays at 222, there's not much of a chance. But should the FOMC cut rates and announce that at 2 Eastern today on the 31st, you likely will get a run up in stocks. Um, and so I'm not saying take it off before. I really think on Wednesday, if it just opens up and it's 222, 225, 224, 220, it may be too early to take it off. Um, because it probably is going to just decline another 20 cents. So what would this look like at 77 with no rate cut? Well, that gets us to 73, right? So I definitely, if we don't move up, would say take this off the table on Thursday. If you get close to 80 or you're at 80% to close of Wednesday, then Thursday, take this thing off the table. Don't wait. Okay. This is the guy that could hurt us because there's so many contracts, right? This is 300,000. This is 330. This is 9.2 million. You could buy it all back when you average these at 3.4. So that means that we captured 6.4, right? But hey, I'm not saying that right now at the moment. I'm just saying be aware of it. Don't get caught flat footed and have an 88% gain after Thursday. And for some reason, Tesla just flies on Friday. That's silly not to take that off the table. Okay, enough on that, guys. Let's go to the payout because that's really what's left. That's what's looming out there for us. Okay, so what does that look like? That looks like this. We have 205 in the kitty, peoples. Now that includes the 9 million, right? There I am saying that RIGHT and catching myself. Stop it, Bruce. Okay, I will. What's the definition when you start talking to yourself? Don't tell anybody, people. It's okay. I won't tell anybody if you don't tell anybody. Okay, fair enough. All right. 6 days to go. We'll write more weeklies on Friday. Let's hope we can be in a situation where we capture all of this. But I like the fact that we're ahead of the game. We got a lot in our synthetic. Now, we don't have a lot in our synthetic when we have a 126, million total loss. That's the 121 on the 260 and the 5 on the 265. So we really need next week for Tesla to wake up and help us. Just in all honesty, that's what I'm telling you. You just don't want these things suffering like this. Because we'll get to write a new set of weeklies on Friday. All right, guys, so that's what I got. I got us at 205 if we keep the weeklies. But remember, if we don't and we go to like 238 and it hurts us a little bit, on the 9 million, we've got to buy back 3 or 4 million, but keep some, then at least we would knock this down. Going up 20 points would knock this substantially. So that's always the yin and yang. That's the help, right? So down here, I'll do a formal distribution prediction, probably on Saturday, maybe Friday evening. So right now, I'm saying at this price, they'd probably target 75 to 80 cents. So we're somewhere in 98 cents to maybe $1.02. And that would, whoops, I didn't mean to do it like that. I thought I had the zero in there. So I think somewhere between 98 and $1.02. Now, things could change if we lose the weeklies, but we gain. If we win the weeklies and we write some more, I still think they're going to go somewhere in here. So the current price is probably going to dictate they're going to pay us out around 80%, 75 to 80%. So whatever the price is here, this could go up, right? Because there I am with RIGHT. Can't remember that it's built in. All right, guys. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always check with your own either accountant or your financial advisor before making investment decisions. Have a good one, peoples. Bye for now.